Hello and welcome to the Eastwick Senior Housing video series. I'm Joshua Reeves, and I'm here together with Yvette Chen, Gregory Preston, and Jason Skunkowitz. We have put together a video series on the potentials and pitfalls of developing senior housing in Eastwick in Southwest Philadelphia. This project and these videos are recorded for the Community Economic Development Practicum for the University of Pennsylvania's School of Design. This series will include a number of videos on the following topics. The first, which we're watching now, is the history and the local context of Eastwick. The second topic is the supply and demand for senior housing within Eastwick. The third are about best practices citywide and nationwide to providing housing and services to seniors. And the fourth is a summary video containing the key takeaways of each video. This video will focus on the history of this project today. First, of course, is Eastwick in context. Eastwick is a neighborhood in southwest Philadelphia near the Philadelphia airport. Besides the airport, Eastwick is bordered by the John Hines National Wildlife Refuge and the Cobbs and Darby Creek areas. Today, Eastwick is a majority black neighborhood with about 15,000 residents, largely in suburban-style houses with a few large apartment buildings. But this was not always the case. Before urban renewal, Eastwick was a peculiarity in Philadelphia. The neighborhood was notable for its rural, grassy neighborhood, with about 20,000 residents at the time, and many of whom lived without electricity or plumbing. However, most people in Eastwick owned their own homes and worked within the neighborhood, and the neighborhood itself was very integrated. One resident, in an interview with psychiatrist Mindy Follow-Love, said that the neighborhood was integrated before integration was even a word. Sensing an opportunity in the 1950s, the city decided to change the structure of the neighborhood. The city officials saw the benefits of an integrated neighborhood, but found the lack of public infrastructure to be troubling. As a result, city planning officials launched a plan to totally redevelop the area. The resulting destruction severed the community of Eastwick, as many of the promises for high-quality housing, access to public services, and business development were never met. Thousands of others were displaced from their homes as development poured over the once natural landscapes, inducing flooding problems now common to the neighborhood. Displacement and urban renewal had a huge effect on the makeup of the neighborhood. Initial displacement moved many black people out of their homes between the 1950s and 1960s, with the city intentionally spiking prices to prevent black owners from purchasing any new housing in the neighborhood. However, while black residents were displaced from the neighborhood, white residents too began to leave en masse, starting in the 1970s. As prices and price gating began to drop in the area, black residents moved in. Eastwick was one of the few neighborhoods to see its population increase between the 70s and the 90s. However, by the 90s, white flight intensified, and the once integrated neighborhood became a predominantly black one. The urban renewal contract with Eastwick officially ended in 2015, and the city began a new strategy for public lands. With Interface Studios at the head, the city began a process of public outreach to engage residents on the lands of urban renewal and what could be done with them. The stakeholders for this project vary. They include government officials, local neighborhood associations, individual residents, developers, and businesses, and they all had different opinions on the area. The results of this project are found in the Lower Eastwick Public Land Strategy, publicly available from Interface Studio, and they highlight a suite of potential options. Among them, which we focus on most heavily here, is the senior housing development at certain publicly owned sites, and that has been cited as a potential strategy to bring both business and housing into the neighborhood. I'm going to turn it now to our next video on Eastwick Today.